How is a natural rose face cream actually made, starting from real rose petals instead of a fragrance bottle? This is the story of the Rose Renewal Crème from InVine Botanicals in Tallahassee, Florida, and it begins with a rose like this one, growing in our own garden. We grow our own herbs, infuse them whole into oils for weeks at a time, and turn those infusions into balms and creams ourselves. In the next 5 minutes, you'll see exactly what's in this crème, what each ingredient actually does, and every step between the garden bed and the finished jar. First, the honest ingredient list, because with a face cream, what's inside is the whole story. The heart of the formula is a whole herb infusion of rose petals, rosemary, and spearmint in 2 light carrier oils, apricot kernel and grapeseed. If whole herb infusion is new to you, it means the actual petals and leaves steep in the oil for 6 to 8 weeks, passing their color, scent, and character into the oil itself. Those finished infused oils are then blended with mango butter, aloe vera gel, beeswax, and vitamin E to become the cream. No fillers, no parabens, no alcohol, and no artificial ingredients. That's true of this jar and of every InVine Botanicals formula. So why 2 carrier oils instead of 1? Because each brings something the other lacks, and a face crème benefits from both. Apricot kernel oil, pressed from the kernel inside the fruit, is the softer of the 2. It spreads easily and absorbs quickly without a greasy afterfeel. Grapeseed oil is among the lightest carrier oils there is, which is exactly why it has long been a classic choice for facial formulas. Mango butter, pressed from the seed of the mango, brings the richness. It is what gives this crème its soft, velvety body. Aloe vera gel adds a layer of lightweight, water-light hydration alongside the oils. And beeswax gives the crème its structure, while vitamin E, a natural antioxidant, protects the oils in the jar over time. Now the botanicals themselves. Rose petals set the crème's character, a gentle, true floral note that comes from the petal, not from a perfume. Rosemary, cut from our raised beds, adds a green, resinous edge that keeps the floral side from turning sweet. And spearmint finishes everything with a clean, fresh lift. You'll meet rosemary and spearmint in our balms as well. In this formula, they're tuned to support the rose, never to compete with it. All 3 herbs grow a few steps apart in our Tallahassee garden, tended through Florida's long, warm season. Each one is harvested at its peak, rosemary in generous sprigs, spearmint by the handful, and roses as whole blooms. From the beds, the harvest goes straight to the drying room. Drying comes before any oil touches a petal, because fresh plants hold water, and water is what spoils an oil infusion. Our drying room runs at 76 degrees Fahrenheit and 35% humidity, with circulation fans moving air over the screens around the clock. The dark matters as much as the temperature. Light bleaches petal color and dulls aroma, so the drying room stays dark. Depending on the herb, drying takes 4 to 9 days. Delicate rose petals sit at the quick end, and woody rosemary takes longer. Everything is dried whole, never powdered, so the petals and leaves keep their color and later strain out of the oil cleanly. Then the infusion begins. Whole dried petals and herbs go into glass jars, loosely packed so the oil can reach every surface. We pour the apricot kernel and grapeseed oils over them slowly until every petal and leaf is completely submerged. A glass rod settles the botanicals and works out the trapped air. Each jar is labeled with its blend and start date, so we always know exactly where it is in its infusion window. The jars rest in a dark, climate-controlled room at 74 degrees for 6 to 8 weeks, depending on the herb. Partway through, each jar gets a gentle turn, moving the oil back through the petals. There is no heat and no sunlight at any point in the infusion. Cold, dark, and slow is the whole method. Week by week, the oil takes on a blush gold tint and a soft rose scent. When its weeks are up, each infusion is strained the same way, botanicals out, infused oil through. The spent rose petals come out pale. Their color and their character now live in the blush gold oil. The infused oils are warmed gently, just enough to blend with the mango butter, aloe vera gel, beeswax, and vitamin E, and each jar is filled and capped by hand in small batches. Like everything we make, the formula was developed by our founder, Janice. In a routine, Rose Renewal Crème works as a daily face moisturizer, morning or night, or as the last step of an evening wind down. A little goes a long way. It softens, nourishes, and hydrates, and the rose, rosemary, and spearmint scent stays light on the skin. The amber glass jar does one more quiet job. It shields the cream from light, the same way we shielded the infusion. From a Tallahassee garden bed to an amber jar, every step of that journey happens here. You'll find the Rose Renewal Crème and everything else we grow and make at InVineBotanicals.com.